Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. You are stuck with me, Dan, for starters, as George has just been put on the bench, and we're going to bring him on in a little bit as an impact sub. We have with us tonight, we have Belinda. How are you, Belinda? Can she hear us? Oh, she's froze.
I think it's a frozen.
She's froze. She's froze. But Paul, how are you tonight?
Oh, not bad, mate. Not bad. And you?
Very good. Very good. Pleased it's Friday, and looking forward to tomorrow. We have Andrew, who's on time tonight.
Good evening, Gooners.
And the very welcome return of Mel. How are you, Mel?
I'm not bad. It's been, I want to say, like 3-4 weeks that I've been away now. So I've got a lot of chaos to try and squeeze into 1 hour, but I'm sure I'll manage.
It is. Back to full fitness. Belinda, how are you? We're just saying, it was going around saying hi to everybody. She still can't hear us.
No.
Fairly busy week, should we say. We're going to try and keep the show down to at least 3 hours. So buckle up, be ready. But we might as well start with the big topic of the week. And I'm going to go straight to Mel. Mel, what do you think of the new home kit?
I'm actually a very big fan of it. When I saw the photos, I was a bit sort of like, I don't know. And then also I got it in my work and I was like, give me that in the men's small right now. I need to put it on. So I did. And I think seeing it sort of hanging up and seeing it just like hanging in photos, it makes the fight on it look a lot more dramatic than it actually is. So I'm a fan of it. If you'd asked me like 2 weeks ago, I would be like, it was disgusting. But now that I've physically had it on me, I haven't bought it yet. I was like, yeah, no, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
That's good. Andrew, what are your thoughts on the new home shirt?
I get it. That's what people. I get it. How I mean, Christ, it drives revenue. So and it's a massive thing. I don't care. Just as long as it's all. My only thing with our football shirts is the away kit should always be yellow and blue, and everything. But yeah, I mean, I get it, and it's a huge thing. I mean, obviously, the cost is another thing of some of the shirts, but if it means we can get pay Leah's contract, then that's what it is. But yeah, it just doesn't bother me. I think again, growing up as a kid, it was the one kit for the kit changed once every decade or something. So I can't even keep up now.
Yeah, every season now it is a new kit. For Paul, I mean, one thing that I'm pleased they have brought back, and I was obviously seeing a kit from a few seasons ago, my sort of '89 kit. They've just brought the cannon back on the home kit for the first time. What are your thoughts on it, Paul?
Yeah, I like it. It's going back to the sort of the retro, one of the retro kits without going back to it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm a big fan of just sticking with the cannon. The home kit's growing on me each time I see it. I wasn't too keen on it to start with, but yeah, each time I see it, I'm growing with it. I'm starting to like the away kit a little bit as well, but yeah, not quite a big fan of that at the moment.
Is this the black kit they've got? Is this the black away kit? If I'm not sure what the official one is supposed to be.
Yeah, I've seen the black one with the sort of the red and the green stripe, isn't it? Sort of. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Linda, your thoughts on the new home kit?
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
That's good.
I feel like I still need to see the plays in it first. I'm playing in person though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I haven't seen it in live, should we say? So it'd be good to actually see it tomorrow for the first time. So thank you so far for everyone that's tuned in. You say we've covered the big topic of the week, the new home kit. But moving on to other news, it was announced. Was it Monday morning? I think it was Monday morning that Arsenal had not offered Viv a new contract. Now, over the last few weeks, you probably noticed, or for those of you that have been listening, that was something we've discussed a few times. So look, I'm going to go back to Mel. Mel, what are your thoughts for this? Really, I don't know what sort of word to start.
I would love to say I was surprised, but with the way it's been since she came back from her ACL, I sort of saw it coming in a way. I said that if she hadn't done her ACL, would she have triggered the optional extra year on her contract that we'd given her? I would argue no, because there was big clubs like Barca and that were interested in her. And I just feel that the way that Jonas is trying to put the club and the squad, I don't think Viv fits into his plans anymore, unfortunately. And she's always going to be a cult hero. Obviously, she's going to go down as a legend in an Arsenal women's shirt. But like I've said numerous times this week, and I will continue to say it for everybody that gets upset about it, it's business at the end of the day, and she's got to do what's best for her. And obviously, it is gutting that we're giving her away on a free. We're not getting anything for her, but she needs consistent minutes to get back to the Viv that we all knew and loved, like pre-ACL. I don't think that's what she's going to get if she stays with us, unfortunately.
No, I think you're right. Well, Belinda, what was your reaction to the news on Monday?
Yeah, obviously, like, it's not nice, but if she's not going to play, if she's not in Jonas's plans, then there's no point in sitting on an Arsenal bench either. So she might as well go and play elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so what was your thoughts, Paul? I mean, I think it was obviously surprising with everything, but I think she seemed very strongly linked with Manchester City sort of later on in the day. I mean, do you feel that's a move that could happen, and that's something if she does go to Man City, it could, come back to haunt Arsenal, that she goes to a club of that size?
It's going to be difficult going to a club of Manchester City's sort of stature at the moment and get regular minutes in her position. There's a lot of players there already that are established in the team. Whereas if she went to maybe the team I think could be one to watch next season is going to be Liverpool. Whereas if she was at one of a club like Liverpool, they're only a couple of signings away from challenging the top 3 positions. And I think somewhere like that, she'd get regular game time, but she's not going to get the Champions League football. So I can see why she'd want to go to Manchester City. But for her game and her minutes on the pitch, I think it might be a step too far right now, considering that she's only just coming back from that ACL. Maybe in a season's time, yes, but I just think it's a little bit too early.
Yeah, I suppose, I mean, it's something we was discussing last week. I suppose it's where Viv feels what level she's at. I mean, I suppose maybe like for me, if she went to, let's say, Aston Villa with Jordan, that would be, great to see her in a Villa shirt playing there and coming back. I think it'd be great. But yeah, if she was at City, she obviously feels that she can go there, do a job. What do you think, Andrew? I mean, what sort of say? I mean, why do you think it's not worked out with Viv and Jonas? I mean, that's the
I mean, that is, and I think that is the $60 million question. That is I think Jonas really has a very precise again, kind of blueprint of what he wants from certain players, and I think and pre-ACL there was a lot of, you could still see he hadn't, he was the first one to start kind of taking off, or not even starting sometimes. Then there was the move from the 9 to the 10, and I think there's and it seems a bit mad to say this because we're talking Vivianne Miedema, one of the best players ever, arguably the best player ever. But yeah, I think it's just that she just didn't fit in with the system. I think he's very exacting, particularly in the press. I think that's the thing that he's thinking it's not about going forward. I think it's how they press, and I think that's one of the things that it's not always appreciated how much we create, how much attacking opportunity we create out of our press. And the amount of turnovers that front 4 can create. By the pressure we put on. So I think it's around about that area that where there is that kind of that mismatch. I think, like Mel says, I don't think any of us are that surprised really. The writing's been on the wall even before the ACL, I thought, but obviously the ACL, it's been a protracted recovery, there's that sliding door. There's maybe a sliding doors moment for her. But I agree with you, Paul. I'm not sure. With Man City's really stacked up going forward, haven't they? And they've got a lot of young talent coming through. For ages, Man City were as the starting 11 and a big drop off. But now, with like Mary Fowler coming in as well, and who's the other who stepped up for Jill Roord as well? I think there was another one where even Chloe Kelly's not getting a game. If everyone's fit. This will be one to reflect on in a year, 18 months, 3 years time. But for now, it is what it is with the Arsenal. No one's bigger than the club, and that includes, I include Viv, I include Jonas in that as well. I can see Darren's started his Jonas out campaign.
Yeah.
But let's see this time next year what we're talking about.
I was going to go to Mel again. Do you think with this sort of Arsenal's sort of PR narrative that they go, it was a natural end to a Arsenal journey, but then Viv sort of posted that the way the football has gone from what she sort of started playing to what they're playing now, do you think it has just been that it's just she's not, like Andrew was saying, she just doesn't fit in. She's never going to be a Jonas type player. She's just, I don't know. Remember what your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, like Andrew said, she's just not somebody that Jonas can find a way to squeeze her into the squad. I think Viv's such a specific type of player that even when we moved her from the 9 to the 10, you could see looking at her that she wasn't comfortable playing there. So I think she's one of those players that she's very specific in what she wants, and Jonas is very specific in what he wants. So it's just come to a crossroads, unfortunately, where they're not gonna go the same way. I don't know where I would like to see her go, but wherever she goes, she's gonna make a big impact, and it's just unfortunate that we're not getting any more years out of her. But the years that we did get out of her have been some pretty memorable years.
I mean, would she score 150 goals in the Scottish League?
In one season, 100%. Get her in a Celtic top right now. Get her in those green and white hoops. I'll go and get Elena on the phone.
That's a rumour we're going to start. She's off to Celtic. Mel's their agent. That's just, it's all, it seems a dream move, really. So, Viv, if you are watching anyone from Arsenal, speak to Mel. She's got some contacts. She'll sort it out for you.
All over it. Don't worry.
Belinda, I mean, one thing that did, I mean, I know we're sort of saying we're not surprised by the announcement, but do you think that Arsenal maybe misread, or what has surprised me has been the fan reaction to Jonas, how the huge amount of negativity, and we've got the sort of real Jonas out from a lot of people. I mean, does that surprise you? Maybe the level of, I don't want to say, is it anger really from people with this decision? I mean, what do you think has really annoyed people, or the fan base so much with this?
Personally, I think probably because how attached people get to players sometimes. I don't feel that way, so I can't get on there. I can't think on their level really. I don't have an opinion on if Jonas, like it either. So I'm just a bit like, I do think there's been a bit of an overreaction, but people can feel what they want really.
Yeah. What about you, Paul? What do you think with the sort of fan base reaction to it? Was you surprised by?
I think it's not just this one issue with a lot of the fans. It's been coming for the last 6 months or so, or even from the beginning of the season when we didn't qualify for the Champions League. There's always been that little doubt in the back of your mind that is he the right man to take us forward. I think we give him another. Well, if we get knocked out of the Champions League again in September, I think that is definitely the time for change. But I don't think it's just the Viv matter with him. It's that we finished third again. We haven't made any progress. We've basically done the bare minimum that we had to do this season, and various other little bits all through the season have just sort of built up, and now this is just the the final straw for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Yeah, I mean, Mel, so what was your reaction? I mean, say, are you in a sort of Jonas in, Jonas out camp? Is it, again, was you surprised by the fan reaction?
I'm still leaning towards Unison. I feel that, has he made some questionable decisions? Yes. Will he be the only person involved in the Viv decision? No. Should we have done better this season? Absolutely. But is that all on him? Also no. So I'm on the fence. He's never made a decision or done something where I've openly been right, it's time to go. But like Paul says, we did the bare minimum this season. We can't get away with doing the bare minimum next season, especially with them going on about the big changes that they want to make in the squad and things like that. So you can't really. I say give it till mid-season, winter transfer window, and I'll be like, that's when my mind will be made up if I'm ready for a go or not. On the fan reaction, what's really irked me is the whole family FC, we're a family, not a team thing. Because, yeah, okay, they all get on, they're all pals. Obviously, there's some relationships in the squad, but it's their job at the end of the day. Like, I'm not going to stay at my job just because I'm pals with people there. Like, if there's something I've got to do for the sake of me, I'm going to go. And I've seen quite a few comments of the whole Beth and Viv situation and, oh, but they got a dog and what's going to happen with them? Like, they're grown adults. They're two fully grown women with very smart heads on their shoulders. And also, at the end of the day, it's none of our business. I don't like, it's when people get that invested in the player that I'm sort of like, take a step back. There's no need to be that invested in their situation. And they don't have to explain to us what's going to go on or what's going to happen and X, Y, and Z with their relationship, because it's their relationship. And realistically, once they come off the pitch and once they're not wearing Arsenal gear, as far as I'm concerned, we've got no business knowing what they do.
No, that's it. And, like for me, personally, I'm not, as long as they're doing what they're doing for Arsenal, whatever anybody else gets up to is their business, isn't it? It's sort of like, yeah, people have, like you say, there's so much interest in where they're taking their dog out and what they're sort of doing. It's just like, yeah, just let them be, let them be, enjoy one another's company and do what they've got to do. I mean, no one wants to see me taking my dog out on.
Just think with that into their like private lives. I think that's the last couple of years where obviously the women's game has taken a big step forward and increased in popularity. I think that's where these players, they're going to find it different. Mm-hmm. The ones that have been in the game sort of for quite a few years. People like Kim Little have obviously been around for a long time. The press coverage, the paparazzi and so on, they're going to be everywhere. Every little thing, they're in the public spotlight now.
Do you think, say for Andrew, this is like something for Arsenal to learn from, with the fact of what Beth's 30, Caitlin Ford's 30, Steph Catley's 30, that, in a couple of years' time, it's more than likely they're going to be leaving as well. Do you think it's maybe something Arsenal, when they do leave, will handle it a little bit different, or hopefully learn something from this Viv situation?
I mean, I kind of I don't know if you remember when Jordan left. There was similar. It was similar, and I think that felt similar in that sense, that there was a little bit of an outpouring, and there was I think quite a few Arsenal fans at Villa games for quite a while. I think it is going to be part of this this league. There's going to be that attachment, and I think even more so in the WSL, it seems the fans' view of things and the players' view of things and the managers' view of things are different. Absolutely, it's their job, it's their business, and if a rival company was to offer me better circumstances and better pension and that, I'm off. Yeah. And equally, if I'm not performing, and again, I think football is a lot more cutthroat than that. But you get you know, you don't get the opportunities don't come up. And so I think it's as fans understanding, you know, that for them it's their business, they've got to earn that, you know, A, it's costing the club money, B, it's costing those players, that's their livelihood. So everyone, you know, from both sides, whether when players leave that we wanted to keep, or when we move players on, you know, it is still that business. Jonas has got to deliver. And he can't make these kind of nice decisions when he doesn't believe in it himself. Whether he's wrong or right is to be seen. But you know, we've got to. He's got to make those. He's made those decisions, and I'm sure it was a tough decision. And I don't know. And I'm sure I don't know. He would have seen what happened. You know, with Manu as well. It was and Ibuchi. You know, there was a little bit of some surprise about that, and to a lesser degree, Nikita Paris. You know, cracking players, great players, but there weren't Jonas, you know, Jonas types. So I think, you know, at some point, Lotta, Leah, then we'll see. Then we'll see a Twitter meltdown if they ever go or let go, and that's going to happen. That will happen at some point. You know, not everybody, you know, rides off into the sunset. You know, apart from Kim Little, apparently, who's going to stay with us forever.
Yeah. No, I remember when Alex Scott retired, and I can't remember, she was at a home game. Was it? I can't remember. It was a game at the Emirates, a men's game at the Emirates. Anyway, and she sort of come out and she got, you know, the silver cannon and all that, and it was a nice ending. But like you say, with Jordan left. Lynn, did you sort of feel like, I know Andrew made a good point about Jordan leaving and it caused people were annoyed, but do you think maybe like with Jordan leaving, it was maybe because we had Vicky, it wasn't quite as bad, but do maybe you sort of feel that now Viv's left, we've not really got a replacement number 10? That's maybe it was annoyed people a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's what people's issue may be, but as well, like we have got players that can play there. It's just if we bring another player in that is going to be establishing that 10 position. I feel like we need the coaching squad needs to decide who they want to play there and just stick with that rather than switching players over every game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, so Paul obviously, I assume it's a transfer they're looking for. You would assume over the summer, but I mean, as what we've got in the squad now, who would be your number 10, either for the, you know, for tomorrow or sort of moving forward for next season?
I'd say at the moment, Russo.
You gonna stick with Russo? Yeah. What about you, Paul? Who would you go with?
At the moment, I'd put Russo there, but we have got sort of 3 or 4 players that can all play in that position. It's a case of sticking with one and getting that relationship with the players around her to be the best number 10 in the WSL. And we've had Russo play there, we've had Frida play there, Kim's played there. There's been so much sort of chopping and changing this season. Okay, a couple of times Viv's played there, but we haven't sort of stuck with one and said, right, this is my number 10. This is who I'm going to really go with, build the other players around it and move forward from there.
Yeah. What about Mel? Who would you go with as your number 10?
When fit, I would take Frida there every day of the week. I think when she's firing on all cylinders, when she's at 100%, she's got everything in her to be one of the best number 10s in the league. Obviously, she had that setback at the County Cup final, but from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to have phased her. So, yeah, I take Frida in there. Failing that, if it means we get Russo and Stina on the pitch at the same time, I'll take Russo in at the 10.
Andrew, would you agree with Frida?
Yeah, I think that's what Jonas he wants. And I remember when, funny enough, when Viv went down, and you know, Frida stepped in and played a very, very different style to Viv, but was she player of the season, wasn't she? And to be fair, she hasn't replicated that this year. But I think Jonas should and probably will kind of go for it with her as the as the 10, and just let her let her develop. Hopefully it was just like a bit of a sophomore jinx with her or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I'm guessing and I think with Stina and Leslie, I think obviously Stina's sounds like it's on the cusp of signing. Looking at from all the from the kind of there's some really kind of credible sources saying that Stina's close to signing. So it's there's I guess you've got those two starting up top. I wonder if Stina's been told she's going to get more game time, more of the rotation. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. But equally, Stina might have been just really happy and just maybe angling for some better terms, because she's had her best season with us by far. And she's become this massive cult hero. Whereas, it's almost like Leslie's taken the pressure off her. And the other one is, I think I can't remember. I think it does sound like we might be getting an all-rounder coming in as well, who could probably back up Frida at the 10 spot and let Kim. I think Kim is far better, a deeper line. As when as we saw when she took over the Man City game. So yeah, interesting times.
Yeah, I mean, I think for next season it's going to be. I think it is the make or break for Jonas, to be fair, that number 10 position, because if he goes with Frida and all being well, she has a great season, we win the WSL and the Al Conti Cup again, it's all good. But if he does go with Frida, or if he goes with Alessia, then it doesn't work out, that will for me be the end of Jonas, because it's just an absolute crucial position now of finding that number 10, and whoever he goes with for the first game of next season is just sticking with them and go, yeah, you're my number 10. That's it. I'm not playing you for one game. And I mean, Mel, do you think that's maybe what's for Frida this season? The fact she's been in and out of the team so much, why she's not been as good as she was last season?
Yeah, I think when she was getting consistent minutes last season, we saw her hit a completely different level. But yeah, I think for any player, I think coming in and out and in and out and in and out of the squad, and you go from playing 90 minutes to playing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, here and there, to then get chucked back in to do 120 minutes. It's a lot, and you don't really get into like the flow of things. And no matter how well you do in training, there's only so much impact you can make in 10 minutes in a game. So yeah, I think once we get Frida back in with consistent minutes, hopefully as a starter, even if we can get 75, 80 minutes out of her, then tactical 10-minute sub at the end, I think we'll get Frida back to that next level that she was on last year.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we had a couple of other departures as well this week. We're talking about players out. I mean, Belinda, was you surprised that we've let Sabs go? I think maybe Kayla McKenzie was probably expected, but do you think Sabs has had a fair chance at the club?
I wasn't shocked, no. I think if we're bringing in another goalkeeper in any way, which has been rumoured, I think that wasn't a shock to me. If she should have played more, probably, but.
But you, Paul, was you surprised with Sabs going, or so was it again expected?
I was half expecting it. She hasn't featured that much, especially in the second half of the season. Possibly if we'd have had Champions League football and more FA Cup games, there could have been the chance for a bit more rotation in goal. But I think for her own development, I think she has to move, because she could walk into the number 1 position in most other teams in the WSL, only sort of a couple of exceptions in there. So yeah, for me, I'd have loved her to have stayed. I think she's a great goalkeeper. But again, if it's not right for her, if she's sat on the bench week in, week out, as a international goalkeeper, you need to be playing the minutes competitively. Whereas Kaylin, I was expecting it, third choice, been out with an ACL, still going to be out for the beginning of next season. Yeah, that one was expected, and Sabs, yeah, it's a shame.
Do you think with say Mel? Do you think that having Sabs, as a good sort of, I don't know. I mean, Jonas at one point said we've got 2 number 1 goalkeepers. Do you think that has helped Manu to just up her game? That she has had a pretty decent season, really. Just the fact that Sabs there, and Manu has been number 1 by right. Really, she sort of deserves that spot.
Yeah, I feel like Manu's not really been challenged for the number 1 spot in previous seasons with other goalkeepers. And that's not to say that Lydia Williams and other keepers that we've had haven't been top keepers. I just don't think they were at a level in which they could have challenged Manu as much as what Sabrina's done this year. In the few games that Sabs did get to play, she had some great saves, but she also had some errors that we won't talk about. But every keeper's going to make an error. It's like I always say, like it's got to get past 10 other people before it gets to them, and it's the hardest and loneliest position on the pitch. But I think Manu having both training alongside somebody like Sabrina and then knowing that she's knocking on the door trying to get into her spot, I think it's definitely helped push her on, especially in the second half of the season.
Yeah. Do you agree, Andrew? I mean, have you any one whether you'd maybe like to see us bring in like an experienced goalkeeper or a younger goalkeeper to help push Manu again for next season?
And I guess the heavily rumoured Van Domselaar seems to be a really good profile, young keeper. Aspect for me that signifies for me that Manu is the number 1. And I think it's incredible how I think Manu kind of absorbs all the abilities of all the other keepers that come along, because every time, this is, someone will mention she's, her distribution, her claiming of crosses is dodgy. We'll buy in someone who's got that, and then all of a sudden, I think if I'm right, Manu's cross claiming was the best in the league this year. So she does come out, but I think with Van Domselaar, I think the profile there is that we've got a younger keeper who is a number 2, but will start as the clocks tick, and Van Domselaar becomes into her prime, and Manu starts to go out of hers. I think, but you can see that it's going to be. It feels like if Van Domselaar does come in, it's going to be a definite 1-2 situation. Though I'd like to hope that that Van Domselaar would get at least some games, whether it's Conti Cup or even FA Cup. As I think quite a few teams do that now, and that just to sort of, because she'll need the minutes, and I'm sure that'll be again massive if she does come. She's going to be giving up a number 1 spot. But equally, we've just seen Sabrina go to Villa, which seems to be, a precursor. So, I guess, and I think, I guess, is it June that most contracts sort of expire? So until then, no official announcements can be made, but I'm sure there's been lots of conversations, and it just seemed like we've just got a bit of a swap deal going on, perhaps.
She's not she's injured though, isn't she? She's not with an ACL issue. I'm getting the goalkeepers mixed up.
Oh, I mean,
no, she hasn't played a lot this season though, has she? I forgot her name. Who were off from Villa?
Daphne Van Domselaar. Yeah. Do you know what? I this is me being so Arsenal centric. I often, unless someone is really hurt us, I don't remember most of the players. It's like the ones that have kind of, whoever scored the goal against us, I want them to sign for us next year. But yeah, I think I just remember I've just seen that name bandied around quite a lot. So it feels like it's almost one of those that's going to be manifest.
She fits the profile. We need for me as well. We need a younger goalkeeper. Someone that we can, sort of be the number 1 in a couple of seasons that can learn from Manu and improve. So she makes a lot of sense. So with the Monday news, so we've done Monday. That's taken us 35 minutes. On Tuesday for this week, Arsenal announced in the morning that they are playing 8 or all the WSL games at the Emirates next season. It is going to be the official home which I thought it was already, of Arsenal women. But yeah, it is Arsenal's official home now. So yeah, obviously various packages that can be bought and purchased for the season. For me, one thing that I thought was quite interesting was that Arsenal obviously said the WSL games, and they quite an emphasis on the Champions League games being in there. So no pressure there, Jonas, just to make sure we get through that qualifier. Mel, good for you that we're moving to the Emirates. You know, do you prefer the food and drink in the Emirates?
I love the Emirates. I love it so much. Don't get me wrong, Meadow Park will always have a soft spot in my heart. There's no greater joy to me than shouting at the referees when I know that they can hear me. Especially the lineswomen. They seem to get double barrel for me at Meadow Park. But I'm looking forward to having more games at the Emirates. I think we've proven that we can pull in big numbers, but it's just a case of turning everybody from people who are just there to watch to people who actually want to buy into the culture. They want to buy into like almost the cult mentality of the red and white and like the Arsenal women home and away, and everybody who organises the meetups and comes up with the songs and goes to the pub and stuff together before and after games, like, is getting people to buy into that. If we can get 60,000 people to buy into that rather than just the current atmosphere block and people who are sort of dotted about here and there doing their best, I think it'll be incredible.
Yeah, I think one thing that we've missed so far, well, we haven't had this season, which would be great, hopefully next year, is a game under the lights at the Emirates. I think, yeah, we've had the sort of Saturday, Sunday afternoon games, but I think, yeah, maybe a Friday night game under the lights at the Emirates will be fantastic. I mean, about you, Paul, you looking forward to more space and a nice comfy seat at the Emirates?
Yeah, obviously you're guaranteed your space if you take out the home advantage pack, whereas at Boreham Wood you're sort of queuing up right at the sort of half an hour before the gates open, right, get your space in the North Bank, and it all fills up and we all sort of crush in together, which is a great atmosphere and it's absolutely wonderful. But at least at the Emirates, you know where you are. Yeah, and the atmosphere there as well is moving on from like the Wolfsburg game last season was when it really sort of took off for me, that sellout there, and then we've carried that forward to this season with 6 massive games at the Emirates. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, and I think it just shows that again Arsenal are the first team to do it, as we have been with a lot of things, and it'll be 2 or 3 more years before the other teams follow suit. But we're there, we're at the front, we're the first ones to do it again. So yeah, it just shows how great we are.
We're just bringing on more firepower now as George has finally decided to join us. We're talking about moving to the Emirates, George, and you buying the first round in Block 10. I'll hand over to you now, George, to do. But I mean, are you you prefer that we're now moving to the Emirates than Boreham Wood? What's your thoughts on it? Put you on the spot straight away.
Yeah, why not? I was watching the show on the train, so sorry I'm late, guys. This is Britain's travel, and it's the trains back. Don't get me started on that. I'm not buying the first round in Block 10. I'll buy the first round for the people on here in Block 10.
There's 115 watching, so there you go. 115 people. George buying the first round.
I'll buy drinks for people that I can see.
Oh.
Yeah, moving to the Emirates, like was said, I think it was a good movement forward. Like, I think we knew that was going to happen. I like that. Obviously, we've got, I think, is it 11 games there? Hopefully,
yeah.
Yeah, we win the quadruple next season with just around. Yeah, I don't see really any negatives for it. I think as more as the football and the games and the popularity is going to go, obviously tickets are going to get more money. But that's just standard. yeah, like I think we've seen with tickets that it's been absolutely crazy. Just the Brighton game, I think it's on the verge of ridiculousness, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Emirates. Plus, from a selfish point of view, it's really easy for me to get to. So I haven't got to like do a tour of Hertfordshire, then visit London, go to Hertfordshire. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. To be fair, well, have you guys said your opinions on it?
Well, to be fair, George, we've been talking for 40 minutes mainly about the new home shirt because not a lot's happened this week. So it's, but yeah, we're looking forward to the delights of the Emirates, and I mean, I think probably most people that are listening or watch this back are the Block 10 crowd. So we'll be in there and making as much noise as possible. So I, like I sort of said a minute ago, I'm looking forward to a night game. I think that'd be great.
Is Block 10? That's like, is that North Bank or is that more West Stand?
Yeah, North Bank.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, should be good. And hopefully the other teams will follow. Like with having more of their games in bigger stadiums. So like, obviously, because we have got teams that have stadiums that should use it a bit more. Like I think Spurs could use it a lot more. Not that I'm calling them a big club or anything.
No, they got a big toilet bowl stadium though, haven't they? So
yeah, I'm still struggling after the other night with their fans. The first game of football I've ever watched when they're going one-on-one with a goalkeeper and they've all gone quiet from this time. But yeah, hopefully we'll go quite far in the Champions League, so we'll see some really good Champions League nights there as well.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Andrew? What do you play? You can move into Block 10 for the chaos?
Yeah, Block 10 all the way. Block 10 all the way. Massively excited. Just it's great that they announced it, and it was a good distraction. But yeah, super excited. And I think Mel's right. I think Farah has done a great job at Boreham Wood, and last year, sort of getting that the atmosphere block, and we're ready. I think that the fans are ready to take it to the next level. So we can have, we talk about Block 10. I think Block 2 is going to still have some, and it's, you can see that there's going to get pockets. And I think, the big conversion that Mel was talking about is from those who are spectators into supporters. And I think, Farah's done and Farah and the team have done an amazing job, in creating that. But, when I sat in Leicester for the Leicester game, and I was so far away from Block 2, and I was amongst the spectators, and and I think Daisy's had similar sort of kind of experiences in there. So, but I think now it's good. It just focuses all. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be Block 10, and I love it. And and it's a shame we're going to move away from the dugout, but I think being in the North Bank, that's the kind of the traditional home of the Arsenal kind of ultras, rowdies, whatever you want to call it, the Gooners. That's where we're going to be able to suck that. But imagine second half where and we're needing a goal, and they're attacking that end. I'm getting goosebumps already just thinking about it.
Yeah, I've already been called an ultra this week, so Andrew. I agree with that. I am looking forward to hopefully not being told to sit down when there's a football game on. So that was my own. I think I've been quite vocal about that in Block 2.
Not you, Joel. Surely not.
I remember turning around to a steward and said, "If you want me to sit down, go to the theatre up the." And it's got a good response. So yeah, Dan, are you moving?
Yeah. I'm sitting next to you, George.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah. Sort of asked for. Yeah. No, I want to move. Definitely, it's got to be done. So even as I'm old school, when I was at Highbury, it was being in the North Bank was the thing, and that was always where you look to get your tickets. So yeah, being in the North Bank sort of seems traditional for me for Arsenal. Well, Belinda, what about you? Is Emirates easy for you to get to? You're looking forward to moving to Block 10 as well?
Yeah, it's a lot easier for me to get to, and I've wanted to be in the Northland for a while. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it did definitely seem like Andrew said. It seems like the traditional home for the for the fan base. So yeah, it's good to George. We're all there. We're all moving. You're buying the beers. It's all good.
Hey, you got a beer tomorrow, so don't you're chatting. So have you just? I'm gonna just do this live. Have you spoke about just Viv and
Yeah, we did. I mean, what would be good for like if anyone. I think people would like your opinion on it, Jules. Obviously, we've all spoken about it, but we said about the news on Monday. But I think people would like to hear what you think about Viv leaving, just to sort of go back a bit. Just what was your thoughts on Monday when the news broke?
how long we got?
Got about another 20 minutes. It's all right.
A big part of me was absolutely gutted. I'm not gonna lie. I weren't surprised. To be fair, that I think even I could see that coming. That Viv was gonna leave. I don't know. I've seen a lot on Twitter. I've had this chat with Belinda as well. I don't kind of jump onto some of the stuff that's been said on there, but from my opinion of it, it really irritates me when they said she don't fit in the system. I understand what he is saying, but you're telling me the best player in the world at one stage and probably, like people say, one of the greatest of all time, don't fit in a system. That's rubbish. I don't know. Maybe is it a player power thing? Is it like he wants Jonas wants to be seeing that? Well, he's moving forward with stuff, and what he says goes. And Viv has maybe said, "Well, I think you should do this different." I don't know. Like, to be honest, we can all gossip, and no one. I know there's been videos put out there of stuff, and that it's a very murky place, Dan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, I'm trying to be diplomatic here. I tell you, put me in for the general election. I'll do really well. I would. But ultimately, no, I'm not happy she's going. I'm not happy she's going. My worry, not that what people say on Twitter, if Viv leaves, that means Beth's going with her. Like, I don't know if they know, but not every couple works together. I just worry the after effects it'll have on the other players. So if one of your great players like that is leaving because of something, obviously she's not been given a new deal. Does that set off a bit of a ripple effect with other top players? And if you're letting Viv Miedema go on a free, are you going to be able to attract those top name players? Because they'll be like, well, surely we want to play with the best players.
Jules, do you think this was Jonas's decision or Arsenal's decision? Which I'm separating, because was it the manager's decision, or did Arsenal, Edu Clay Wheatley and then go, you know what, Viv's done a bit now, it's time to go, you take the flak for it, you deal with it, and we bring in other players? I mean, what do you think? Whose decision do you think it was?
I ultimately think it's both, because ultimately it's Arsenal Football Club's decision. Jonas don't have that power to say, right, we're not offering Viv a new deal. That is a him. But
do you think, sorry, Judah, I mean, to go to the men, Mikel has that power. If he says we offer Jesus whoever a new deal, Arsenal do it. But Jonas isn't in that position. But do you think that's maybe, put a few question marks about Jonas's position if he's not got the full power?
Yeah, like if you're comparing Mikel, like Mikel's completely backed. Let's be honest about that. But with Jonas, I think those doubts are there. I think Jonas has a big say with Viv staying or going, because if he wants her to stay, you fight for that, don't you? Like, let's be honest. Can you see? I can't see Jonas behaving in this way if it's Leah Williamson or Beth. So when I say it's ultimately both, it falls on Eddie or Claire Wheatley. But I don't know. It's really hard because I don't want to say they don't like each other, but that's the impression I'm getting. Like, I think Jonas has not helped himself at all here, and everyone knows I'm not the greatest fan of him. I just think he has a lot to answer for when it comes to Viv. Like when you see in polls on Twitter saying, "So if Jonas goes, would you bring Viv back?" Like, I think that's how and the reputation that Miedema has. I don't know. Like, I know who I'd rather see go, and let's just say it's not Viv.
Yeah.
There's a controversial stuff. See, I've only been here 10 minutes.
No. That's what we're all about. It's good for opinion. I'm not. I'm not disagreeing with it. I think you don't have to like the manager that you work for, but you have to respect them ultimately. And if that's Viv doesn't respect him and other players don't respect him, then that's a bad situation for the club.
Think of it as well, mate. Like, losing Miedema cost the club money. Like, I know she's going on a free, but the amount of people that would pay merchandise or to buy tops with Miedema, and I don't know if people have looked at it like that. So, from an Arsenal point of view, they ain't going to want to get rid of one of their top well-known players. So that's why I think it falls on Jonas.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, thank you, George. I don't want to take over as hosting, but I think probably the last thing we haven't talked about is the Brighton games. Do you want to? Actually, we got a game tomorrow as well. Yeah, just.
Really? What? Oh.
I'm not going to lie. My week's been very occupied, and I forgot we had a game till. I was doing.
You're just meeting at Boreham Wood tomorrow for something.
I was like doing the advertising for the show, and I was like, "Why? What's on tomorrow?" And then what knocked my head into gear was I saw the group, and I think it was Jerry. He said, "Oh, Mel, can you come contact me for a ticket for tomorrow?" I was like, "Oh crap! Yeah, we got a game." So, I'll give my opinion last because I've run it through. I'm late and done an Andrew.
How dare you?
At least I was honest and prepared it before. Mel, what's your thoughts about tomorrow? Are you really bothered what the team will be, or like, not in a rude way, but like it's not.
I'm really not. I don't care. Nicest way possible. I don't care. It's another dead rubber game. Celtic women are playing beforehand, and if they win, we win the league. So at least if one of my teams can win the league this weekend, that would be ideal. I really don't care. I'm going for a good time. Hopefully there's a couple of goals to cheer for. I will be drinking multiple pints, multiple Jaeger bombs. I'll get to see all my friends for one last time before we have that dreaded summer break. So, yeah, he could play anyone. He could chuck a wig on and chuck himself up front for all I care. I don't care.
He'd probably still miss, to be fair.
Yeah.
I said that because not about Jonas in a wig. I mean, because I was kind of thinking the same. Belinda, obviously, I know you'll be expecting to see Kimmy play. Is there anyone else that you wanted? Do you think Viv will start?
I don't think she'll start, no.
Yeah.
I think she'll come on, but I don't think she'll start.
Yeah. I feel the same. I'd like to see a feature at some point because, like, if it'd be a bit crap if he like brought her on for like 1 minute,
sort of 15 minutes, to have that ovation, or whether she comes on. I think there's a to get that ovation there. That'll be planned, and I'm sure Eddie would, but I'm sure Eddie and Claire have there's an email saying at some point this is how we're going to do it. It's going to go a bit Hollywood, I think, and I'm sure I'm sure they will have read the Twitter storm, and they'll know that it's the least that she deserves. As Mel says, dead rubber. We need to make sure that no matter what the score, we could be 8-0 down or whatever, or it could be 1-1 or whatever. There's a stage managed kind of moment for Viv in the game. But yeah, the rest are all bit part players, I suppose. Maybe Sabs plays, or at least comes on, or maybe we have 2 goalkeepers at some point, and get Kaylin on as well. And it'd be interesting to see when Stina's contract gets announced, whether that's again managed by the Arsenal. I wonder if it's signed or agreed, and they're just waiting for that right moment to sort of kind of manage the media in that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I agree with that. I am just saying, if we're 8-0 down to Brighton,
I'm Jonas out at that point.
I'm worse than that. I'm not Jonas on that, picking him up, carrying him out of my heart. Dan's guiding me. We're launching him in that next river. I'm not having that. 8-0, no, not happening.
8-0, 7-0 we can deal with, but 8.
yeah, 7's okay. Yeah,
7, but 8. No, sorry.
Draw the line at 8. Draw the line
Not
at
too
8.
far now.
Dan, do you agree with Andrew, or is there I suppose your mate Chloe start?
Hopefully she'll start. Maybe in goal. But I mean, from watching Jonas's pretty boring press conference this morning, I thought he was going to get a bit more of a grilling. I'm not even sure if Viv's going to be fit. He didn't sort of sound very positive. I think she said she was going to maybe train this afternoon and see how she was. So Viv might not even be fit to do. I mean, I want to see some sort of WrestleMania big finale for her, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, I'd like to see definitely Sabs in goal. I know he did say Lotta's out, so we have Cordina and Leah. But yeah, maybe Michelle Aguiman playing. I think maybe she could get a few minutes. A couple of younger players, really, or maybe even Katie Reed could play. Just yeah, why not give them a game at the end of the season? Something a little bit different, but yeah, it's just we're going for the fun tomorrow more than the 7-0 defeat at Brighton.
Picture in my head now, and it's 0-0 in the 95th minute, and it would just it all goes quiet, and then Viv runs on the pitch like the under.
That would be my dream.
If that happens, you're going to be a new predictor next season. Do we have? I haven't forgot anyone, have I?
Paul.
Oh right, Paul. Right. No, I was not falling into that blind trap again. So, Paul, would you play? Question: do you play people like Katie Reed and is Freya back?
Oh.
Yeah, at this stage in the season, I would say it's a nothing game. I'd like to see Sabs playing goal. If what they were saying is right, that Viv won't play if she is injured, maybe play Sabs for 75 minutes and give Naomi Williams a little run out at the end. But yeah, I'd like to see a couple of the younger players possibly even start the game and give them a full workout in there. I've said it before. These younger players, they need to be playing against top WSL clubs, and the only way they're going to do that is not coming off the bench with 5 minutes to go and getting a little few minutes here, few minutes there. It's starting, it's playing games, whether that's the last game of the season at Arsenal, whether that's going out on loan next season to a club like Brighton. But they've got to get the minutes in, because these girls are the future. We've got quite a few players there that are sort of late 20s, early 30s now. Come sort of another 3 or 4 years, we're going to be looking to the likes of Katie Reed and so on to really step up and get their way into the squad. And I think the best way of doing that is bringing these players through the academy. It's not constantly looking at, well, who's got this player, who's got that player that we could sign. Is bringing them through the academy from an early age, like the likes of Leah Williamson's done it, and then they've got Arsenal in their blood. In effect, they want to play for the club. The club's treated them well for years, looked after them, and it shows with the passion that they play with. And I think tomorrow is a perfect chance to start that off for the next generation.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was hoping for myself that they play an 11 of the best Son players possible. So, like, no, it don't matter who they are. Like, there's some good songs out there, what we sing, but the only good ones after good songs can play. So,
well, it's not 24 for 90 minutes, though, is it?
No, about 150 minutes when she's just going for a fight in the training, mate. To be fair, they sing. People sing that when the bus has just pulled up. Better come for a break. But no, honestly, I would like to see Katie Reid start. I think there's some players there that we know what they can do, so why not give the younger ones a chance? But I'd like to see Stina start. To be fair, I'd like to see Kim Little start because it's not an Arsenal day without Kim Little. Everyone knows that. I wouldn't mind seeing Sabrina start. To be fair, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, for some people, we all know what Manu can do. So yeah, I'd like to see a bit of a mixture, really. Like Paul said, you got to expose them to some first team experience, haven't you? These youngsters already, and I think this is the level we're at, is that we've got to expose them to first team competitive football, if maybe at a lower WSL. There's nothing to say I think Crystal Palace got promoted, didn't they?
Yeah.
So why couldn't you send a couple of Arsenal youngsters there? What do you think about that, Mel?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think obviously sending Aguilar and stuff to whatever teams they ended up at was good for them to get the minutes in them, but yeah, they need that WSL experience. Send them to Crystal Palace, send them to any sort of not lower league, but lower league club that will take them, that we know that they're going to get minutes in. It's like Kathy Cool, for example. We've sent her off to Everton, and she needed the minutes, and she wasn't going to get it with us. So I don't see why it's any different for academy players and youngsters that are now being signed to the first team squad.
Yeah. Another question. I'm actually going to put you on the spot now. You've mentioned that name. About Kathy Cool, Mel, do you think she's actually got a future? Do you think she could feature a lot?
I think I'd probably send her back out on loan to Everton for another season, because she didn't get a lot of games in with them, I believe. But I think once she gets that experience and that game time, she could challenge for a spot in the squad. I think the way that Palovas came in and sort of made an instant impact, sort of forced Arsenal's hand with Cool. They probably didn't expect to be sending her out on loan, but like I said, Palovas came in and made such a big impact that you couldn't then risk taking her out of the squad to put in a player like Cool, where she's not made the same sort of bang and entrance that good old Vicky P has.
Yeah, cool. I just want to get your opinion on it. And what I love about this podcast, we actually call it Kathy. So yeah. Right, we're going to do predictions because I like putting her on the spot. Belinda, we're going for a 6-0 win and Kim Little scoring 6.
Yeah, go on then.
I thought we
Yeah, no, I think it'll be 4-0 probably.
Who's your first goal scorer? Yeah, Belinda, who's your first goal scorer?
Pull over. Just because she doesn't shoot, so it'll be funny.
Right, we will go with Mr. Richard. Who you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go 7-0 to Arsenal. And Manu's going to score the first goal with a long distance punt that's going to fly straight into the North Bank. And if that happens, then yeah, I'm definitely getting 5 tattoos.
And if that happens, I'm heading the ball straight back at her.
The question I've got, there's a couple of questions here, but the only appropriate question, I think, Dan, what tattoos are you going to get?
One of you, George.
Well, obviously.
And then we'll see. It's dependent on if the men win the league. When they win the league on Sunday, because obviously we're putting all our podcast vibes for the men to win the league on Sunday, because our hearts will be with them for that.
Yeah, but if you're an Arsenal fan, just remember we're used to it. Don't be too disappointed. So you're going for Manu. If that happens, mate, then I've got T20 vision. So Andrew, please don't say you're going for 9-0 and a Gio hat trick when she flies back on the plane.
I'll go with 8 then. And Stina to open the scoring.
Oh, Stina, yeah, that's what I meant, not Manu.
Oh, it all makes sense now. I thought that is wacky. If Manu, no, sorry, I'm not giving you back. You're stuck with Manu. Yeah.
Lose, you lose, Dan. Do you know what I mean? Like,
That's happening. It's happening. Definitely.
Seeing as you've step up and do the hosting today, which I'm proud of you for, mate. Like, and then you just go and Manu it right at the end. Like,
I know it's going so well.
Awesome. Paul, any other crazy predictions and first goal scorers for you? Like Vic Akers coming on or something?
The Undertaker.
Well, it was Jodie Taylor's birthday, so she could always come off the bench and
like that.
And get a goal at the end. But I think we're going to go about 4 or 5-0, and I can just see Katie McCabe scoring one of her bangers from outside the area.
She's due.
Yeah. Thank you for that serious answer, Paul. And it's been unique. Mel?
I'm going to be optimistic. I'll say 6 now. I feel like it's not too out there that we couldn't do it, but I feel like it's out there enough that if we actually score 6 goals, you might have to physically restrain me from entering the pitch, because I will not be held responsible for my actions. First goal. I'm going to have to say Kim. I feel like I always back Kim, and every week I back Kim, she doesn't score. So watch her not score tomorrow. However, somebody who I would love to see score tomorrow, who I don't think scored for us yet, I would love to see Kadina score at some point tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Just get her up there at a corner, chuck her in there, give her a step ladder to reach the header to reach the cross if she has to. But I would like to see her score tomorrow.
Yeah. I think she did she score? I think she had
the Cup game. She did, didn't she?
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't
down as an own goal though.
Oh,
yeah,
that's not a point.
I don't think she scored for us, but
I think she'd just love it though. She would just be overjoyed if she scored.
She's gonna scream Vamos at the North Bank, and I will be there.
Obviously, we know her pre-match meal is paella, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So, and she does love an Estrella. I'm going to try and be sensible with my prediction. So
boring.
Yeah, boring. I'm My first goal scorer is going to be Emily Fox,
Nice.
and I'm going to go. Why not? 9-0. It's got to happen. Yeah, so 9-0, and someone's going to bite an inflatable in the North Bank, and we're going to sing happy birthday to someone for Dan. What my predictions are. Right, so we are we all going tomorrow?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Andrew's bottled it. Right. We're gonna have to start, we're gonna have to start like all putting like a GoFundMe page to get Andrew to a game.
Next season will be fine though. Next season's fine.
I was gonna say yeah. I think it's.
He's in block 10.
I'm in block.
He's in the podcast row in block 10.
That's what I mean. It's at the podcast block. Like Andrew says he's there, but when it turns out he's the steward there.
Steward giving the specific detail of keeping Mel off the pitch.
I feel like if there was any point of me getting on a pitch, if I ever got to the point, it would be that Wolfsburg game with Jen Beatty's header. I feel like that's the closest I've ever came and ever will come to somebody having to physically hold me back from entering the field of play.
You know the Jen's header when she knocked out Plop? I thought she just actually bumped into her. Then I watched it because it was her birthday, wasn't it, in the week? And she actually took her out, and I've been watching it.
Dropped a shoulder. That shoulder was dropped. She was obviously back in Glasgow playing rugby in the yard with her brother and her dad, because that was a professional hit that happened there.
It was great, yeah. I thought she just ran into it, and then like, oh no, she definitely meant to take her out. That was
100%.
Yeah. So thank you for the guys who have been watching the shows. We've had some really, really good what I was looking at earlier. So thank you for your support. Thank you to guests. Return of the Mel. Thank you.
Anytime.
That has got to be your new podcast name, Return of the Mel. Might try and sing a version of it tomorrow. That's probably after a few drinks in tea, to be fair. Belinda, thanks for coming on, Star.
That's all
right. Paul, thank you as always. Hope you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, good show going, mate. Thank you very much.
I didn't do much, to be fair. Andrew, I know I wind you up, but I appreciate everything you do.
Oh, my pleasure. Cheers, Gaffer. Thanks for keeping faith in me despite my disappointing performances. Hopefully I've turned it around tonight.
Well, we didn't have much choices when Daisy pulled up with a late injury, to be fair. And Dan, thank you for stepping up and just being a really good help and friend. So
thanks. Well, Jules, just from like your podcast family here and anyone else in the WhatsApp group and the 138 people that are watching this live and everybody else that watches it back in the week, the thousands that watch it back in the week on Twitter, we just sort of say well done and sending out the love to you for this week for your starting your job, and it's amazing, mate. We're all sort of really proud. So it's like a virtual round of applause from everybody for that, because that is like, that's massive, mate. So well done for you on that.
I appreciate it, but I wouldn't be able to do the show without you guys. So it means a lot. It's been a bit of a crazy couple of weeks for those who know. So yeah, but in a good way. But I know Mel said the dreaded summer. Not gonna lie. Forward to a little bit this summer. If only the summer was only 2 weeks. So yeah, thank you to everyone for watching, listening. Please like, subscribe, even hit the bell, because then you'll get a reminder, and then you haven't got to listen to all my tweets banging on about it as much. But I do appreciate it. We will be back next week. We have got a special show lined up. It might not be next week. It might be the week after, where we do a review with Tim Stillman. So he'll be back on. All have a lovely weekend, and hopefully Arsenal win tomorrow and West Ham get sent on Sunday.
Good night.